Hello and welcome to Rave Sports, day two of the first test between India and Sri Lanka and Gaul. And this show is presented by IDFC First Bank. This is Shomik Chakraborty, and I have with me Devdutt Padikkal and Devashish Sen. And over the next 45 minutes, we'll discuss how things can pan out. But first, Vaibhav, if you can move the camera a little bit and show our viewers how it has been raining. It's been raining, and once again, we'll have a delayed start. The Indian team arrived at the venue about half an hour ago. Actually, they forward the start of the day's play today to 9:45 p.m. and it is supposed to be a 98 over day. But let's see how it pans out. Our weatherman, Mr. Bashir said, told me in the morning today we have a rain at 8. He was at 8 a.m. and so our coming to the game. Now, so one thing I must tell our viewers is internet. Welcome back and brilliantly, Prakash just put out the arrival visuals. And Vaibhav, if you please can turn the camera once more because it's been raining cats and dogs. So absolutely no chance that the play will start at 9:45 a.m. Let's see when it starts. We'll come back to that, but before that, Devdutt Padikkal and how he made his opportunity count. Vaibhav, welcome to you first. Um, Excellent innings, and he presented his audition with authority. What say?
Definitely, yes. And you have to make the opportunity count whenever it comes your way. Unfortunately, for Sai Sudarshan, he was ruled out, but this gives an opportunity for Devdutt Padikkal to cash in, and that's what he did. We were there at the India's first practice session, and on that first practice session, it was Devdutt Padikkal who looked out of sort. Means he was unable to counter the spin challenge posed by Saranj and Manav Suthar. But now, if you look at that same player only a week after, then you see a very different player to what he was when he first arrived in Colombo. So that tells you Shubman Gill emphasized on preparation part, and that's what preparation can do to you. You get accustomed to the conditions, and then because you practice a lot, Indian team practice 6 days non-stop at the NCC. This is what preparation does to a player. Devdutt Padikkal was grinding it hard at the nets at the NCC. In the 3-day practice, he scored 100. And then when he came to ball, he came with confidence of that 100. And that's what confidence can do to a player. Also, you have to keep in mind, he was assured that there is KL Rahul on the other end, who is playing with responsibility. The best part about the hallmark of Devdutt Padikkal's innings so far has been his judgment of length. He's been very good with his judgment of length, when to play off the back foot, when to play off the front foot, when to use the feet and hit it down the ground. So I think it has been a very good effort from Devdutt Padikkal so far. But now the onus will be on him because he is the said batter to take this forward, to make it big. Yes, you have scored 100, but in these conditions, when the spin has already come into effect, you have to make it big so that India post a big total.
Devashish, since 2023 World Test Championship final, seven different players batted at number three position for India, and I mean, sort of stability was kept at arm's length. Do you think? And I asked this question to Sitanshu Kadam, India's batting coach, at the press conference yesterday, and obviously he kept the number three debate open. But do you think that this knock from the Padikkal is a baby step towards achieving that much needed stability?
Yeah, Shomati, you put it rightly. This is just baby steps. I won't say that he has already sealed his spot. These are pretty flat conditions to start. Let's not. Obviously, we saw he was fished out of water in that Perth Test match. He struggled literally. He got out for dark after playing 21 balls. Even in the second innings, he played 71 balls for only 25 runs, and that has been the reason that he's been out of the Test arena for 632 days, if I'm not wrong. So I think this might just be the Devdutt Padikkal 2.0. Obviously, he has already been given a chance. He could not capitalize, but I won't go out, jump the gun and say that he has already sealed the spot. Just Shomita, if you talk about Indian number three batters, you have the likes of Cheteshwar Pujara, Rahul Dravid. And this is one particular batting spot. But when you talk about Test match format, I think you have to score consistently across all venues, across the world. It's not just how much you score in Sri Lanka that will guarantee you a place in number three in the Indian Test team. That is not done. He has to prove his mettle in outs. Maybe New Zealand. The series coming up against New Zealand will be the acid test for Devdutt Padikkal if we have to play in that 5-match series against Australia in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. If he does well in New Zealand, then you can go out and say, yes, we have now find them. Yes, he looks solid. There is absolutely no denying the fact that Devdutt Padikkal looked solid. He showed tremendous great temperament, resilience, determination, dedication. You may say describe his no, but to be going out of the way and saying that he has sailed his spot at number three, no. I would say that he needs to prove his mettle in overseas and in Sena countries.
Yes, we'll come to that. But yesterday, the way he handled, I mean, on the face of it, it was a benign pitch. And Sri Lankan bowling, I would say, sort of pedestrian. But the first session, and after that horrible mix-up that cost Justice Jaiswal his wicket, and the way he was batting, he was threatening to take the game away from Sri Lanka in the first session itself. But after that, the first session, basically the ball was not quite coming onto the bat. Second session, after the rain delay when play resumed, the ball was, the ball was swinging a bit. He toughed it out. He toughed out the conditions and showed the nerves. So from that point of view, and we are getting ready the way he batted yesterday. It's still 131, still sort of 70 runs to go for achieving that double 100. But do you think if he eventually gets there with Padikkal, then at least for the time being, he will own that number 3 spot?
Yeah, then it will be very difficult. As I have already said, that Sai Sudarshan making a comeback from an injury is never easy. And then if you get an opportunity, how you will fare and at whose position you will come in. Because Devdutt Padikkal has scored 100 and he has sealed that number spot obviously in this series because there are lack of top order batters in the squad. So obviously he will be there in Colombo SSC. But after that, as Devashish also mentioned, if he gets an opportunity in New Zealand, which is the next test tour, then how he will do it. Obviously, if he will do well in this series, then he will retain his position for the New Zealand tour. But the biggest test of Devdutt Padikkal will be in those conditions, in Australia, in England, in New Zealand, because these are subcontinent conditions. Devdutt Padikkal has played a lot of domestic cricket, a lot of red ball cricket back in India, and conditions are not so different from here in ball. So in these conditions, relatively easy. I won't say, obviously, making test runs is never easy, but it is relatively easy when you play in conditions like Sri Lanka, and to that, when you are playing in a position like Sri Lanka who are down and out. If you look at their test cricket, they are down and out. They have already hit the rock bottom. So I think it is comparatively easy, but nothing to take away from Devdutt Padikkal and the way he has batted. And for the time being, he has sealed the spot, the number 3 spot, and it will be very, very difficult for anybody to replace him as long as he's scoring runs. If he has a 1 or 2 bad series, then it will be interesting to see then what the team management does with him. Because remember, Sai Sudarshan, when he failed last year against South Africa, even when he made his test debut, then also team management backed him. There were a lot of questions heading into that one-off test against Afghanistan. Will it, because Devdutt Padikkal was there as well for the one-off test, but team management backed Sai Sudarshan over Devdutt Padikkal. So now, will the same happen with Devdutt Padikkal if he has a string of poor scores? That remains to be seen.
One more question on Devdutt Padikkal before we move to other issues. And Devashish, I'm coming to you. Devdutt Padikkal, the way he complimented KL Rahul during that 150-run partnership to Bangalore boys, KL Rahul was scoring at his own pace. He was going at his own pace. So Devdutt Padikkal, the way he batted, he ensured that the scoreboard moved in a nice tempo. So, and coming back to the taste forward, you obviously you remember that 23 World Cup in Perth. So from that, it was never easy. So do you think that beyond the technical resilience, the mental toughness he showed, that was a standout aspect so far in his innings.
Yes, Sumit, absolutely agree with you. More than the runs he scored, the 131 runs he scored, I think he showed tremendous temperament and the willingness to learn. In fact, in our post-day live yesterday, we were both me and Vaibhav were discussing that when the first training session here in Colombo, in Sri Lanka, at the non-descript cricket club, Devdutt Padikkal was struggling against the spinners. Both of us were there in the nets, and we saw him struggling quite a bit. But since that first training session at the non-descript cricket club, through the innings he played in golf, I think that showed tremendous improvement on his part, and it can only be possible if you are willing to learn. If you are willing to learn, and credit should also be given to Shitanshu Kotak and Gautam Gambhir, the way they have been continuously overseeing Devdutt Padikkal in the nets. And we have seen it. He batted against all the 4 spinners. There were also the other 4 net bowlers who were also spinners. And it was good to see he was playing those flip shots and at times playing reverse flip. So I think it shows a test of character, Somita, to come out and seize the opportunity, because in Indian cricket you don't get opportunity. It doesn't come on a platter. And you have to grab the opportunities that come your way. And I think for, considering the first innings now, Devdutt Padikkal has ticked his boxes for the time being. For the Sri Lanka series, obviously there's a second test match coming from in Colombo from August 23rd. But once again, what happens? We have seen. It started this live by saying that India has tried as many as 7 number 3 batters. Will Gautam Gambhir and the team management persist with Devdutt Padikkal in New Zealand? What happens if Sai Sudarshan gets fit? Will he be brought back into the batting order and be promoted at number 3? And that has been the case. That will be interesting. So let's just hope that Devdutt Padikkal gets a fair rope. He gets at least 4-5 test matches before we analyze his performance.
It's very important to have stability, because constant chopping and changing, constant changing the orders, it creates insecurity. And over the last 2 years, India's decline in Test cricket, it has sort of like this lack of stability has contributed to that. But when we're coming to the pitch, the ball pitch traditionally, over the last few years, the way the ball pitch has behaved, the first 2 days is very, very good for batting. Yesterday, Shitanshu Kotak, he came at the for the post-day press conference and spoke about that. I don't think the this pitch will break. But as the test match meanders along, from day 3, day 4 onwards, there will be some turn. So, is your assessment of the pitch, and what I mean as regards India's first innings? What do you think should be the score when they can start thinking about bringing on their spinners into the game?
I think it has been a typical ball pitch with what I have seen in the last 1.5 years. If you look at the Bangladesh test, before that Australia test, even the last time when India played a test match here at this venue in 2017, India posted 600 while batting first, courtesy of that 190 from Shikhar Dhawan. So it has played well. Typical subcontinent wicket plays well first 2 days, 3 days for the batter, but there was a hint of turns right from the first session. There were a couple of deliveries from Prabhat Jayasuriya that turned away from KL Rahul, beating the outside edge. Then Nuwan Keshara, the debutant from Sri Lanka, was getting a lot of drift. He actually troubled Devdutt Padikkal on a couple of occasions, out squaring him up, and there was a leading edge as well that didn't fly to the third point slip region. So there has been some assistance for the spinners. And if you look at that Asita Fernando spell post lunch, there was a hint of reverse swing. I won't say proper reverse swing, but there was just a hint of reverse swing. Old ball swing will be a big factor as the game progresses. When the likes of Mohammad Siraj, the better exponent of reverse swing, they will bowl, then the reverse swing will come into play. Spin has already the pitch has already showed signs of turns. So spin will be a factor. Obviously, it has already started spinning, and this is where it becomes important for India to capitalize on the position in which they are in. They should at least 600, if not more, because see how many batters you have. You have a well-set Devdutt Padikkal. Rishabh Pant has got a start. Then Siddhanshu Kotak confirmed that KL Rahul will be back. He will resume on 77. Then you have a Dhruv Jurel, Ravindra Jadeja, Manav Suthar. You have ample amount of batting. You have a good batting depth. So if they don't surpass 600 run mark, then I think the Indian team management would be disappointed, because 2 days you are getting good batting conditions, and thereafter spin will come into a great effect on this wicket. 600 should be the least target that India should tie on. And as I said yesterday as well, they will only look to bat once. Because of the bowling quality that they have, they can easily take 20 wickets. Because this Sri Lankan team, mind you, doesn't have their two main batters. One is Pathum Nissanka, other is Kusal Mendy. It's a depleted squad. So best thing is to go 600 plus at least in the first innings, and then take 20 wickets and win the match.
Yeah, I'll come to Devashish, but before that, rain has intensified. So, Vaibhav, if you please can turn the camera around and show our viewers. But then again, we are seeing some clear patches on the sky. So it's basically these are passing showers. There is no orange alert or yellow alert, something like that. So rest assured, we'll have significant amount of play, but that will have a delayed start. But Devashish, coming to you, Shubman Gill, the way he started, and he was once again batting like Prince, that cover drive, brilliant. But then, are you a little disappointed? I mean, we should not read anything into Shubman Gill not scoring runs in just one innings. But are you a little disheartened, rather not disappointed? Disheartened that innings got nipped in the bud, and maybe he became a touch overconfident.
It is bound to happen. In that time when there's a big partnership in test match, and see that partnership between Rahul and Devdutt Padikkal yielded 150 runs, unbeaten for KL Rahul, retired hard. So when you are in the dressing room padded up for a long time, at times there is a bit of lapse, and I would say it was a lapse in concentration on the part of Shubman Gill. And I think his eyes lit up when he saw that look, and he tried to go over the top, but unfortunately he did not time it well and got caught. But you are rightly, absolutely right. That let's not judge. Shubman Gill, the batter, cannot be judged by one innings. The previous series against England, he has been the main batter, and he's also the captain. So I think the onus will be, Shobita, if you ask me, Obviously, there's a Devdutt Padikkal, there's a KL Rahul who will be available to bat. That's the biggest update yesterday on this Sutan reporter game. But for me, the big interest, at least for me, the biggest interest for me will be Rishabh Pant and Dhruv Jurel. The two number 5 and 6 batter for India. Dhruv Jurel and Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, already we have seen a bit of flashiness in his batting. And Jaisurya, that delivery when he sort of cut and then he missed it. And then immediately the next ball he hit him straight over, which went for a boundary. So I think it will test Rishabh Pant, his discipline, whether he can bring in that discipline to his game, to his particular this inning, because India cannot what to say, give away the position they are in right now. They can dictate this test match. It means if they can post 600, which was the case last time they were on, but I think the main focus for me will be Pant and Jurel.
Very rightly put, and pretty apt that Devashish mentioned Rishabh Pant. This is a big opportunity for Rishabh Pant to shut down the naysayers. I mean, Rishabh Pant, make no mistake, he is a fantastic talent. And don't forget that the match-winning knocks he has played for India. Off late, it feels like he has been under pressure. That shot he played in Guwahati in the second test against South Africa, and Devashish was there also. I mean, it didn't go down well with the team management, obviously. We don't know. We don't know whether it led to him losing his vice captaincy, but all said and done, he has lost his place in the ODI squad also. But Rishabh Pant, he is a bit under pressure, but we all know what he is capable of. So, Vaibhav, do you think this is one hell of an opportunity for him to shut down the naysayers? And if he can, if he gets going, if he can score a daddy 100, and if he decimates opposition bowling, that would be a fitting response.
Definitely. See, these are ideal batting conditions, and nothing drastic is happening off the wicket. There is not a lot of assistance from the for the bowlers from this wicket. So this Rishabh Pant, for him is what is important for him is to get a start. Like I said about Yashasvi Jaiswal, as the key to these batters who scored at a good pace is they need to have a good start, and this is what Rishabh Pant got yesterday. I was worried the way I was worried for Pant, the way Shubman Gill got out, because with Pant it's always about what shot Rishabh Pant can cost his wicket, because Rishabh Pant's shot selection is always goes hand in hand. So I was a bit worried when Rishabh Pant came during the last session that there would be a temptation for Rishabh Pant, nothing happening from the wicket. He can go for a big shot and may lose his wicket, but glad that Rishabh Pant is still there. He has got a start, and now because he has understood the conditions, he has understood how the wicket is playing. I think it is about catching in on the opportunity, making the most of the start that you have got, and as you have said, silencing his doubts, silencing his critics, because that is what is important for Rishabh Pant. Because if you score here, then just maybe, you will have an opportunity to reclaim your spot for the ODI series against West Indies when the Asian Games will be simultaneously playing, and Ishan Kishan won't be there for the ODI series. Then maybe selectors can go back to Rishabh Pant only if he scores big in this series. Then he can make a case. The only way you can make a case for yourself is by scoring runs, and this is Rishabh Pant series. This is where I agree with Devashish that not just Rishabh Pant, even Dhruv Jurel, more than Rishabh Pant, Dhruv Jurel will be under pressure because he averages less than 35, only 150, 100 to his name in 10 odd matches. More pressure will be on Dhruv Jurel, but yes, this is the time for Rishabh Pant to bring his A game, make most of the conditions, and against a depleted Sri Lankan team, I think this is the time for Rishabh Pant to cash in, go big, and score the runs at a pace where India can declare today, and then they can give half an hour of batting to Sri Lanka at the fag end of the day.
We'll come to Dhruv Jurel, but meanwhile, as I speak, something special is happening in Darwin. Australia are 278 for 9 in the second innings, a lead of just 50 runs, and Bangladesh are on the cusp of a historic test win in Australia. Devashish, nobody expected the test to pan out that way. But now that Bangladesh are on the cusp, and we don't think Bangladesh second innings will implode. In their ranches. In that case, it would be interesting in the context of the World Test Championship, also, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder how many Bangladeshi media has traveled to Australia, to Darwin to cover this test match. Means it will be celebration, and we all know how these Bangladeshi journalists and media, they celebrate each and every victory. Um, means, but what a fascinating win this will be in the history of Bangladesh cricket, to go out there. And I quite enjoyed that duel, that verbal duel between Mitch Stark and Mehdi Hassan Miraj. I think Mehdi Hassan Miraj might have lost his captaincy, but he comes to me as a confident character. Means he gives it out, means at the back of him, and that is what pleases me. Means yes, um, uh, but I think it will be. But Indians team has been, as Shubhayan mentioned on the start of this test match, they have been keenly following the outcome of the test match between Australia and Bangladesh. It might just give a glimmer of hope, because considering that they go on to win this two test match series, then that seven test match, two against New Zealand and five against Australia, this might just open the doors for India to make it to the finals of WTC.
We talk about transition in cricket, but maybe we are just seeing the onset of transition in Australian cricket. Mind, against Bangladesh, Australia are not playing with a depleted squad. The top players are playing: Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark, Steve Smith, Marnus Labuschagne, Travis Head. Everyone is playing. So this is maybe, just maybe, this is the onset of transition in Australian cricket. And you see, with the instability, with that instability in their opening combination. First of all, Travis Head is not an opener. He is absolutely not an opener for a team like Australia, a country. Australia, a super elite team, and the number of great openers they have come up with over the years. So Travis Head, basically, he can be an opener in white ball cricket, but not in red ball cricket. And then again, finding a partner for him. So do you think, Vaibhav, we'll come back to India versus Sri Lanka, but for a moment, as we speak about Australia versus Bangladesh, and Cameron Green has scored 100. Do you think, now it is going to be a tough period for Australian cricket over the next couple of years?
See, transition is never easy for any team. You just think about the Indian team. Ever since the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Ravichandran Ashwin, Cheteshwar Pujara has retired. Look at the New Zealand series was considered as a case in isolation. You have lost a series after 12 years on home turf. But look at how India played against South Africa, and South Africa didn't have a lot of experience in their bowling attack. If you look at a Marco Jansen, Simon Harmer, yes, a lot of first class experience, but not test cricket experience. So they went down against South Africa, and because there was not enough quality in Afghanistan squad, they don't play enough test matches. That's why you won. But the transition for any team is difficult. Now Australia are in that phase where a lot of their senior players, the likes of Steve Smith, Mitchell Stark, Josh Hazelwood, Scott Boland is also 36, although he hasn't played a lot of cricket. Then Nathan Lyon. The only thing they want to take in their list is to beat Indian team in their home turf. That's all what they are looking for before they retire. A lot of players, for them, the final frontier is India, and if they manage to, which seems very unlikely the way they are playing, but anything happen in the next few months. So if they beat India in the upcoming BGT series, then you will see a lot of players retiring from Test cricket. And when that happens, then what is the next best lot of players available? Like you have said, Travis Head is a makeshift opener. He shouldn't be opening in Test cricket, but he is made to open the innings, because there are not a lot of good top order batters. You have a Will Pukowski who will play some audacious shot to throw his wicket. There is not a lot of trust in Nathan McSweeney. I don't know why. Then you have a Matt Crenshaw who looks good, but then when a big series arrives, he is unable to score runs. So that tells you that, like India, Australia don't have a second lot of players that is ready to play Test cricket or ready to play international cricket. So it's a tough time for Australia, and also they are playing in Darwin. When was the last time they played a Test in Darwin? That also tells you something, that these players are habitual to playing at their Test centers like Perth, like Adelaide, like Sydney. If they play in conditions like Darwin, because of their lack of experience in playing these conditions, they will get exposed.
Nathan Lyon is batting, and so we say carry on Gary, and we have to say ciao to Debashish because he will switch over to Bangla. He will switch over to Bangla Live. So Debashish, thank you so much for joining the show, and once again you will be there. You will be the main man once again for all our lives, including lunch and tea, and post display. So you will be our main man. So thank you very much. Now, Vaibhav, there is a question. If you please can read it out for me.
Asker F Sports, Devashish Dai is gone. But where did Sai Sudarshan proved his mettle to secure number 3 spot, but looked absolute clueless in England and against South Africa?
So, Vaibhav, you take this question.
Yeah, I think, see, obviously he hasn't scored a lot of runs, and that's a given. But there is enough trust in Sai Sudarshan from the team management. And if you look at Sai Sudarshan, the batter, he has played enough balls. He's one of those batters who has that in him, that he can bat for longer periods. Then that's what you need in Test cricket. You add a Cheteshwar Pujara. If you have checked that reel that went viral during the IPL time, Jasprit Bumrah was seen teasing Sai Sudarshan during an IPL game, before an IPL game, saying this guy plays 600 balls in the nets. And that's what Sai Sudarshan, that's the biggest hallmark of Sai Sudarshan, that he is the one who can play long innings without playing an atrocious shot and giving his wicket away. He has that mental, strength. He's temperamentally very strong, and that is what you need. That sort of characters you need in Test cricket, who can bat for long hours. That's what Rahul Dravid used to do, Cheteshwar Pujara used to do, and that's the same quality is what team management has seen in Sai Sudarshan. That's why, despite those failures against England in against South Africa last year, team management still backed him over Devdutt Padikkal, and he scored that 81. Obviously, because it came against Afghanistan, not a lot of people remember that innings, but he played a very good inning. That's why, and even if you look after that, he came to Sri Lanka with the India A team, and he was the highest run scorer. Devdutt Padikkal also played both the matches, but it was Sai Sudarshan who outscored Dhruv Jurel, who was the captain, and Devdutt Padikkal. Sai Sudarshan is a technically very good player. He's temperamentally very strong, and that is why team management backs him. There are a lot of players in the past who have not started their Test career well, but went on to do very good things for their country, and this could happen with Sai Sudarshan as well.
Yes, and now a delayed start to second Test play has been confirmed. Yes, rain has stopped. It's sort of just a few droplets now, but obviously it would be a delayed start. As soon as we get to know the start time, we'll put it on our website, on our Twitter handle, on our social media handles. So we'll always be on the ball, and just follow Rave Sports. Just follow Rave Sports for quality coverage. For quality coverage, we have been doing this, and we'll do that quality coverage. But now, once again, Vaibhav, you were talking about Dhruv Jurel, and Dhruv Jurel, it feels like his Test career is at crossroads, in a sense, because he has played 10 Test matches. It's not that he's just one or two Tests. He made a very promising start, that game-turning innings of 90 in Ranchi against England 2024. And from there last year against the West Indies, and I covered the game, and he scored a magnificent 100. But somehow he has sort of failed to build on that. In against Guwahati, once again I was covering that game, and his batting absolutely didn't inspire confidence. The way he got out to Simon Harmer, and also the shot he played in the first innings, but the team management is backing him. But I guess one more failure, and patience might wear thin. What do you think?
Definitely. See, as I said yesterday as well, there are a lot of contenders fighting for just one spot. And this is the same with Dhruv Jurel as well. You know, he's not guaranteed to retain his spot every time India plays a test match. And that's what he has to keep in mind, that there are a lot of players who are waiting in the wings, and if he doesn't score runs, then he will lose his spot. This is where this team management does the right things, that reputation won't earn you a place in this 11. That's guaranteed. If you don't score runs, if you don't stay fit, this team management will not play you. And yes, Dhruv Jurel is a very skillful batter. He puts in hard yards. He practices a lot. He puts in long hours in the nets. But ultimately, that practice has to translate into runs when you go out in the middle to play. I think that is what is missing. His preparation has been very good. If you talk about his preparation, I think after Shubman Gill, it's only Dhruv Jurel who spent the most number of deliveries, who spent a lot of time at the nets. But it ultimately has to come, the runs has to come, the outcome has to come. Obviously, preparation is key, process is important, but as much as process is important, result is also important, because eventually we are living in a world which is result oriented. It's a result oriented game. If Dhruv Jurel is unable to convert his potential into runs, then eventually he will lose his spot, and then you will see a Sarfaraz Khan and other players coming into the picture. So yes, now from here every test, maybe even after not performing in this test, maybe he can get another opportunity at SSC. But I'm not too very sure that if he fails in both the tests, then will he be on the flight to New Zealand or not?
We talk a bit about Sri Lanka. Remember, once upon a time, Prabhat Jesuri was called the king of Gaul. But if we go back to the previous couple of tests, and now over 100 overs, he has taken just one wicket. What do you think is the problem? Where is he going wrong? What is your assessment?
See, I think when Prabhat started his career, there was an element of surprise in his bowling. He used to use the crease really well. He used to create different angles to get his wickets. And at that time, there was a lot of purchase from the Gaul wicket as well. But just the way Gaul wicket has changed in the last 1.5 years, it has got more flatter. And even because of that, because now Prabhat is afraid of tossing it up. Like, just look at the delivery that he bowled to Shubman Gill for his wicket. It was well tossed up, well disguised in the air. There was a hint of turn, and that's why Shubman couldn't connect it. If the ball wouldn't have turned, it would have been a straight shot down the ground. Just because there was a hint of turn, and that's what he has to do. He has to look to turn the ball rather than just bowling the flatter trajectory, trying to not get hit for runs. And that's what has changed. Earlier, Prabhat Jayasuriya used to toss up the ball like Yuzvendra Chahal, give the ball an air, try to spin it. Now what he's doing is just he's in the survival mode. He's trying to survive. He's just trying to not get hit for a lot of runs. Economy, he's just saving his economy, and that is where he's going wrong. He's an attacking spinner. He is Sri Lanka's first choice spinner. He's the leader of the spin attack. He should bowl like that. But unfortunately for Sri Lanka, Prabhat Jayasuriya somewhat has lost his wicket-taking knack, and that is what Sri Lanka has been missing, and that is why they went down against Australia. Then Bangladesh made it difficult for them, and then the test match was drawn. So for Sri Lanka to fight back in this test match, a lot depends on Prabhat Jayasuriya, because Keshara Romanta is just playing his first test. Yes, he has bowled well, unfortunately hasn't taken any wicket, but it has to be Prabhat Jayasuriya who will lead Sri Lanka's fight back on day 2.
Yesterday I was watching this new kid on the block, Wanda, and he was bowling at a perfect spinning. He was getting such a nice drift. I was wondering why on earth wasn't he giving the ball a look? Why wasn't he giving the ball a little bit of air? So why was he bowling a little flatter? Someone who is getting such a nice drift, he could have teased the Indian batsman with the look. So do you think? It's sort of this proliferation of white ball cricket, T20 cricket. Now the mindset of the spin bowlers has changed completely, and this bowling flatter, this sort of stuff has become part of their muscle memory, and it's very difficult when they are playing test cricket, red ball cricket. It is very difficult to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, definitely. See, again, I'll not be too harsh on Keshara. because I think despite him going for a lot of runs, he was the pick of the Sri Lanka's bowlers for me on day one. Just look at the drip that he was getting, and he was the one who troubled Devdutt Padikkal. He squared him up on a couple of occasions. There was one chance, I think it was against Rishabh Pant or Devdutt Padikkal, that fell in front of the first slip. It could have easily gone into the hands. Even Yashasvi Jaiswal had a leading edge in the over in which he got out. So Keshara bowled well. It's just that if you want to become a great bowler, you must have the ability to land the ball at a similar spot, challenge the batters, challenge the both the edges of the batters, and that's where I think what is missing in Keshara's bowling is that straighter delivery. On turning wickets, ask any batter, they will tell you it's not the turning delivery that scares us. It's the one that goes straight with the arm. I think that delivery is missing in Keshara's bowling, and that is where he's go wrong. But again, one shouldn't be too harsh on him, because he's just playing his first test match. He has looked good. He has challenged Devdutt Padikkal, who has looked good against the other bowlers. I think he will learn. Eventually, he will learn. He has a lot of promise. Otherwise, to deceive a batter like Shubman Gill, to get the wickets of good batters like KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant, who are good against spin in a practice game, that tells you that this particular off spinner has potential, has promise, and that's why Sri Lanka picked him over a Ramesh Mendis, who again has an excellent record at this winning. He has taken 60 odd wickets. The other day, 2 days back, I met Ramesh Mendis at the golf fort, and he was telling me about his stats on this venue. But why Keshara was picked ahead of Ramesh Mendis? Because Sri Lanka believes that Keshara could be the one who can be their wicket taker in Test cricket, who doesn't play a lot of white ball cricket. He was not there. He was not playing the LPL as well. He is considered as a specialist red ball bowler. So just because now it remains to be seen how he bowls when there will be a lot more purchase from the wicket on day.
Now, we come up with an update. Australia 284 all out in the second innings, and Bangladesh need 57. Bangladesh needs to score 57 runs to win, to secure a historic win. Obviously, it's now Bangladesh's game to lose. And in a test match where Bangladesh scored 426 in the first innings, Australia could only manage 198 and 284. I was talking to someone in the Indian team, and he was telling me how the Indian players also are keeping an eye, how the players also are keeping an eye on these developments, and how things have been unfolding at Darwin. So Darwin, they are keeping an eye. And as far as India's WTC equation is concerned, 9 tests remaining, including this one, and they will have to win 7 out of those 9 to to qualify for the WTC final. The way things are going in Darwin, Australia are set to lose this test match, and in that case, it will make the door ajar for India, and obviously that is the reason why they are keeping an eye on that. So, it is nicely set up. India need to bat big here. Do you think if India score in excess of 550, and they look set up on that, they can start thinking about an innings win to secure that bonus point?
Yeah, definitely they will be looking for that innings win, and that's why I've been saying since yesterday only, the time when India won the toss, that the Indian team would be looking to only bat once, and bat big. That's what their target will be. Obviously, it's still a long way to go to 600. A lot can happen. There is a rain that has, somewhat there will be a moisture factor as well from the wicket. So obviously, it's still a long way, but India will be targeting a 600 total. And 600, if they go past 600, then there is enough quality in Indian bowling attack to take 20 wickets and get an innings win. And then the innings win will obviously earn you that bonus points. So I think India will look to dominate today the entire day. They will bat the entire day, and then at the last half hour, maybe they will ask a tired Sri Lanka team to come out to bat when there will be fading light, and then it will be very difficult. The half an hour of the day in Test cricket is always tough period to bat, and that's where India can get a couple of wickets like they have done on a numerous occasions in the past as well. So maybe India will declare only when the half an hour or day or 45 minutes will be left on day two.
Hope you have enjoyed this live show that was presented by IDFC First Bank. We'll keep coming back to you. You'll get quality updates. India versus Sri Lanka. You'll get reports on Australia versus Bangladesh also. And every time there is news, we'll be on the ball. On that note, this is Shomik Chakraborty and Bhairav Tripathi from Gaul. For the moment, have a good day.